Hello, my darling angels of Chengi's World. Today, I have got a special guest. Of course, I was stalking her all of last year. I was like, you've got to definitely come on my channel. And this is our beautiful Greta, the dating and relationship expert for you beautiful women. And she's got an amazing channel, and I'm sure she'll tell you all about it when she's done telling us how to get the ex back. Hello. Right. So you girls know that it's not something that I do a lot of. But when I saw her work and her confidence and all of her stuff, I was like, you know what? I think it might be really good for us to have this conversation and to really kind of get an idea. So welcome, Greta, to Chengi's World.
Thank you, Chengi. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be on your channel and to share with the girls my knowledge.
Oh, yes, they love you. We were actually on an Instagram live with somebody and you popped on and I said, oh, Greta, and one of my girls, Coach Rena, actually one of my coaches, was like, oh, I love Greta. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one who knew you in my world, but clearly you are well known by the girls, so you are very much at home.
Thank you so much.
So here. Oh, bless you. It's so good to have you. So anywho, girl, tell us what you know, what we need to know about getting that ex back.
Okay, so with the ex back, when you said that this is the topic that you want me to do, I was like, okay, I have to write down everything I know. So when I share it, the girls are literally just covered from every angle.
Brilliant.
So I actually wrote notes because it's so many things that, I just don't want to miss on anything. And I think once someone will watch a video, we will probably have to rewatch it because there's a lot of information here. So I do have my notes here, right? So if you don't mind, I'll just be looking at them and I'll give you the tips. I actually wrote 9 points, more or less 9 points. Some are longer, some are shorter. And if you have any questions like after, just ask me and we'll definitely make it clear for them then.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Fantastic. So starting with the first one is the reasons why you want an ex back. And, if you want an ex back, you want an ex back. I don't really judge, is he like a great guy or not so great guy, because at the end of the day, you attract who you are. So if you have some toxic, low value behaviors in you, and we are not here to judge, everybody has some, right? So, but if you have quite a lot, you will attract a guy who you can bond with, through, as we say, wounded guy. Like if you're wounded, you're going to attract a wounded guy as well. So, when you break up and you haven't worked on yourself to improve yourself, to become high value, you will still feel the connection with that guy and you will probably want him back. Okay, if the other example could be, let's say, maybe you were in a relationship and the guy was great, and then you started to behave low value or you started to behave toxic in a way that you didn't love yourself, didn't respect yourself, didn't have healthy boundaries. And he started walking all over you because, no man will respect a woman who does not value or respect herself. People just walk all over you. So if it happened that he lost attraction for you because you didn't value or respected yourself and now you want him back, we'll get to that as well. So these are just a couple examples.
Yeah.
So we are not here to judge. You want your ex back, fine. I'll give you the tools and then you see how you feel about it. The number 2 would be, I do not recommend staying friends with exes. And so when the guy broke up with you or when the breakup happened, there are a couple of things. So if you're feeling like you can't, it's basically like this. Love is it's the strongest human emotion. So in a way, it's compared to an addiction even. So when you break up with somebody or somebody breaks up with you and you're really in love with them, you're kind of like going over addiction So if you're going addiction, let's say you're alcoholic and you have alcohol in your house, it's not going to help. Or if, let's say, you guys broke up and you're staying friends, so your heart is bleeding, but he's still in touch with you, it's like putting salt on the open wound. You can't heal. It's there constantly. So the first thing I would really recommend to detach yourself and not stay friends with an ex. So if you have to remove him from the social media, do so. If you're really, really strong that you can have him on your social media and not pay attention to it, that's great. You can do that also. So it's totally up to you. See in which place you are.
Yes.
Number 3. Okay, so here is my number 3. Okay, the third one is what I nearly beg you not to do, because so many women do it and it's so bad and it will really, really damage everything what you already have, so if you're going through a breakup, if you will do this, it's going to be much, much worse than ever before. So no begging, no pleading, no chasing the guy after, no nagging, no victimizing yourself, no going crazy, no showing up at his house, no showing up at the places that he goes to, no texting, no double texting. I miss you, I love you. Don't do any of that, because by behaving this way, you're just basically confirming that he has made the right decision breaking up with you. It's like he broke up with you because you, most likely, right? So I'm assuming he broke up with you because he lost attraction for you, because you didn't have much value, much worth, self-respect, or you didn't know how to show it. So by chasing after him and by acting desperate, you're basically confirming, yes, I do not have any, I don't value myself, I don't respect myself, I have a lot of toxic behaviors, I'm very needy of you, you're my world. So you're confirming to him that he actually made the right decision. So ladies, please do not back. You're showing weaknesses and that's very unattractive. And number 4, when you detach yourself from him through social media and through everything, what I would recommend for you to do next is to look at why he has lost attraction for you. Because if he was the one breaking up with you, it's because he has lost a lot of attraction for you. So you need to kind of take responsibility for yourself and think, why did it happen? Have I done something wrong? Have I behaved in an unattractive way that perhaps he got interested in someone else, or he started walking all over me, or taking me for granted, and so on? So you need to look at yourself and really analyze your behavior, and you need to get to these answers. You need to really get to the point where you went wrong. So analyze it and think, what did I do wrong? And find the solutions. Somebody needs to tell you exactly what you did wrong and how you need to do it next time right. And then you will know your answers, then you will know when you have answers to your problems, next time you're just not going to do the same mistakes. So ladies, when you're coming to a coach and the coach is telling you exactly where you went wrong, don't take it personally and don't be offended by it. Be grateful that we are pointing your mistakes so you can change these things and not do these things again. I done lots of mistakes in the past. When I find out where I went wrong, I was so happy that I realized how dumb I was. I'm so happy, I'm not going to do these things again. But when you don't know and you're just defending and putting the blame on him, it doesn't get you anywhere. Number 5. Okay, do not contact him. So this no contact rule, it does work. First, why it works. So absence make the heart grow fonder. There is a very nice saying. The other one is a man a lot of times realizes his feelings for you when he starts to miss you. So when he's like having space from you, after a while, when he starts missing you, he's like, oh wow, like I must love her because I keep thinking about her. So you need to let him come to that place. That's why no contact rule works. I actually have a friend who kind of broke up with his girlfriend, but she was high value. And then after that, he was like, well, she was kind of more or less high value. And afterwards, he was like, the first thing he did was blaming her for everything, nearly calling her all the names, saying, I'll be over it in no time, you know, like, so he just kind of let it off his chest. 2 weeks later, he was sleeping around like crazy, you know, like one night stand after one night stand after one night stand. A month later, he's crying to me on a phone, I can't get over her. Like, I'm going to give it like maybe 3 months and see where I am at, you know, and if 3 months later, I'm still thinking about her, I'll probably make that move again. You know, so this is what I'm talking about. No contact rule, like absence make the heart grow fonder. And guys usually be full of ego, you know. So like when the breakup happens, like can live without her, who cares? I can replace her. This girl, that girl, you know, all these like one night stands will just make me forget her, like, you know. And then month, 2 months later, he can't let her go. This is why the no contact rule is good. Number 6 one is, what could you do actually, like besides the no contact? So this is something I wouldn't say that I recommend. I don't really recommend it, but if you're in a situation where you can't control yourself and you will still end up contacting him, you know, if you do that after a few months, well, then at least do it in the most high value way possible, even though I don't really recommend it. So the things that why I don't recommend it, because then he misses you. If he misses you, he will come after you. He will find a way to contact you first, you know, so he will just pursue you after a while. If he doesn't, you know, he'll let it go and it's gonna be over. But if you really want to contact him, then send something very, very casual after a month or couple of months where he's in that place already that he could potentially be missing you. So not straight away. And I would even recommend sending something as friends. So you're kind of checking in on him, like, how are you doing? How's everything? And if it's like, so you're bringing like this friend vibe, like, yeah, we could be friends now because I'm good, you know? And then you're putting yourself there, but as a friend. So you're not like looking for things to get back together. And then you're just basically saying hi, checking in on him because, you know, you have a past and you care about him, you know, and then you let him pursue you. You see what is happening, you know, that does he make the move or does he not? That's basically all the contact I would recommend. Well, I wouldn't even recommend it, but if you really, really want to do it, this is the way I would recommend to do it.
Right.
All right, let me see. What do I have for number 7? Oh, this is really interesting. What I find is when you let the guy go, when when you're dealing with the breakup, and then you really, really invest in yourself, in your personal growth. So let's say you have a lot of toxic behaviors, you realized all your mistakes, you talked with a coach, for example, you realized everywhere you went wrong, and you start to improve yourself. And then the guy comes back to you after some time. A lot of times by dating him, you find out that you have overgrown him and don't want him anymore. And I got a lot of my girls like messaging me that, Greta, I watched your channel for like for so long. I was so desperate. I was so in love with him. I really wanted him. I improved myself so much, and he came back, and it was all amazing. But then I realized that he's kind of not good enough for me anymore, and I broke up with him. So this happens a lot as well. Yeah, and this is another one. So number 9, I think, kind of. Then, if you have been a bit toxic and you didn't have much value or respect for yourself, and by doing no contact, he came back to you after, let's say, couple of months, don't expect him to ask you to be his girlfriend straight away. Because yes, he came back to you because he missed you. He's like remembered the good times, but as a man, he's also really logical. So he still remembers the toxic behaviors. So even though he got back to you, don't expect him to be like, oh, will you be my girlfriend? And if he doesn't offer it straight away, don't get offended. Instead, kind of talk to him, take things slow, and just be the best version of you, and let him make those moves step by step, slowly. And because a lot of girls, they just, they like think, oh, I'm going to do a no contact rule, and he's going to come back, and I'm not even going to talk to him if he doesn't ask me back. It's like, hon, he's not going to talk to you. Like, he's not going to ask you back because you've been too toxic in a relationship before. So you need to kind of nearly prove yourself, but in a nice way. And the last one is, when a guy comes back, sometimes if you've been high value, let's say, and the breakup happened, yes, he will come back and he'll ask you to be his girlfriend because you've been the best version of you and everything was amazing. But if you were not, a lot of times he comes back not because he loves you, but for an ego stroke. Like, is this girl still into me? Like, if I'll drop her a few breadcrumbs, will she still chase and like be like, I love you so much, you're the one, you're the best, all of that, So a lot of times they come back for that as well. But do not get too offended, just be like, okay, I understand that you're coming back for an ego stroke. I still have feelings for you, even though you lost attraction in me and so on, and I'm just going to be the best version of me, and let's see what happens. And sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't, but that you're trying your best. So yes, these are my kind of 8-9 tips on how to get
They've got a lot more than I thought they would, to be honest. I was like, they'll have to find you. But this is really good. Obviously delivered in pure Greta style. You know how it is, girls. She's very thorough, and you can follow her processes very clearly. So I thought that you went through that very, very thoroughly. I was actually struggling to find some questions for you, but I do have one that always comes up, and I'm sure somebody's going to be watching this and going, what do I do while I wait and not panic? What do I do in the no contact time? What do you recommend that they do? Because I know it can be quite tumultuous, emotional, and they do want to text, and they do want to. So how do you recommend they keep themselves together? What can they be doing?
So besides looking at your own kind of failures and mistakes and where you went wrong, besides doing all of that analysis and trying to improve yourself, you need to shift your focus as well, and you need to do something that you're really passionate about. When you find something that, whatever that it is, it could be starting a new business, it could be cooking classes, it can be really, really anything, but you need to do something that is not related to him in any way. So like when you do it, it's just yours. You have no memory there together, you have no history there together. And you're like just so focused on it. So when you're so focused on it, you're not thinking about anything else, just about that passion, about that thing. Obviously, saying this, as soon as you will stop, probably all the love and everything will hit back. But, at least you're going steps forwards towards your passion while trying to get over a guy and improving yourself, your personality in the meantime.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's so powerful. And I always say it's a perfect time for personal development and growth and all of those things. But I love the fact that you said that there's no real judgment. If somebody still has feelings and they for their ex and they come to you and they're like, this is how I'm feeling, and I really want him back. They're going to be met with no judgment, because that's really important. Are there any circumstances, though, that you would say to somebody who would come to you, you know what, I think maybe try, this is not working for you? Are there any circumstances you can think of where that would be the case?
Of course, there are many, but what's the worst advice to give? And this is where I try to tell all my girls and like my groups and where we follow, because we help each other out. And I'm just like, just don't tell to her to dump him, because the reason I say that is because if a girl doesn't have much value or self-respect for herself, if she's really weak, and she's pressured to dump a man, next week she's going to be calling him and begging him back, and he will be like, now you prove yourself to me, why I should have you back, even though he's like all toxic and crazy. So what I do in these circumstances, I'm just like, I'm trying to help them to grow and change themselves, because only when you change yourself, this is when you don't relate to that person anymore. Overgrow them, you're like, okay, this is toxic, like this is crazy, I'm not this person anymore, so like I actually don't like you anymore, it's not good enough.
That's true. And I remember when I first started coaching many years ago, I would get ghosted because I was very well, he's toxic, why do you want to go back to him? Of course I understood and I was empathetic, but my kind of whole thing was, he hits you, so why do you want to go back? And I noticed very quickly that I got ghosted. They just would disappear on me. And then you realize that actually you're not doing them a favor by sort of saying dump him, let him go. You're actually driving them more to him, like you said, because there just isn't enough emotional intelligence and development there. So, you kind of need to so I say to my clients, okay, fine, we're going to give distance, we're going to give space, we're going to give that no contact. And in the meantime, we're going to do some work. But leave him there, just let him hang there. And like you said, there's always that bit where they're like, I'm over it. Because they've just done so much work. The next question I want to ask you, Greta, is how long is no contact? I mean, what is a reasonable time before you feel like, you know what, I think he's not coming back? Let's say you really are not going to contact.
With the no contact is so different with every guy. I don't think, like, from my experience and my clients' experience, we let's say ever had a guy not coming back. It's just always a different time frame.
Right.
It can be 2 weeks, it can be a couple months, it can be 5 years. I have like clients who like getting, one of my clients right now, actually, she's getting married with somebody who she dated when she was really young. So he's getting in touch with her in her like 50s, and it's like we actually getting married now.
Wow.
So it's there is no such time frame. I don't believe in that. But what I would say though, when a guy broke up with you, you have to keep your options open, and you cannot sit around there waiting for it, waiting for him to come back, because the truth is he may not come back. You can all hope, but we don't have this kind of magic formula where, where we definitely can promise you that he's going to be back. Yeah. We can only help you to do your best, but you have to keep your options open, and when you keep it open, maybe a better guy will come along.
Yeah, 100%. And it's so good that you said that, because I always have these conversations and it's always, but what if he doesn't come back? What if he finds somebody else? What if whatever? And I always say, he'll come back. He'll come back. But I think it's, people's time slots, and they're afraid he's going to go run off with another girl. And I love what you said earlier, because we have to accept that they are going to go and sleep with other women and date other women. And, you know, if you want your ex back, that's part of the package of accepting that he's going to go and meet somebody else, and probably going to, but if you maintain that no contact time and develop yourself, that's just going to call him back energetically. So that's really very important.
Exactly. You have to have a belief, you know, you cannot think that your ex is the only guy on earth and there will never be another guy who's better that comes along, you know, like you have to have faith, you have to have belief. And when you improve yourself during that time period, automatically you will actually attract better, because you will be better. So you technically have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when the ex is coming back, you're actually looking at it like, oh, will he have me back? It's more like, are you still good enough for me? Because I had time to grow, you know? So having this type of perspective, rather like waiting, what will Greta say? You know, like, what's that magic formula? And I'm going to be waiting, you know.
I think it's just brilliant, you know, and the thing is, what you just described to us is actually a simple process. And I think obviously we make it complicated because we're so emotionally entangled and our emotions can be quite blinding, which is why it's so important to get some coaching and have that person that you're accountable to and that you go to when you're feeling stressed or some kind of way, you know. I think this was brilliant. I can't think of anything else because you pretty much covered it. It's fantastic.
Thank you. That was my goal. I was like writing some things yesterday, writing some today, and I'm like, okay, I think I remembered something else. Okay, this one.
Oh my goodness. I am so glad. We'll have to have you back. I'm sure the girls are going to have loads of questions. So what I'm going to say to you girls, if you have questions for Greta, do leave them in the comment section, because I'm sure she's going to be in there answering your questions and saying hello. So do leave your questions if anything hasn't been covered. And Greta, of course, let us know how we can find you on the socials. How can anyone who wants to get in touch with you do that?
Okay, so if you just follow my YouTube channel, Greta Bereisaite, I know the name is really complicated, but I'm sure, yeah, it will be there. Yeah, and just see what you think, like watch some videos, see what you think, and then, you know, if you feel like we are connecting, then you can always book me, of course. Also, I have this free test that you can take to find out that you're a woman of high value or low value, which is really cool, and it's on my website. So if you want to see which percentage you're high value, which percentage you're low value, yeah, it's available for you totally free. It's really fun to take, and obviously I'll give you my link.
Lovely.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming, and of course you can find her on Instagram, ladies. And Greta's got so many initiatives that she does to help everybody. Like literally, if you need help, she's got it for you. So I will leave all of her links, her websites, and the test and everything, because I'm going to do the test myself actually. See how value I am. You never know. So, girls,
I'll be stalking your results.
You must. I will actually tell you when I've done it. I've done it. I might need to hire you myself. I always say a coach needs a coach. So why not? If I score low, you're my coach, girl. Okay. So thank you so much for coming. And I am sure we'll have so much fun and stuff to do together. But yeah, thank you for coming. And thank you all for watching, of course. What more can I say? In the meantime, my darlings, take care of you. Love you lots. Mwah.
Yeah, kisses.